Hi guys, I'm back. Today's the 10th of June, July 2021. Today I'm going to read Numbers 14 to 18, Proverbs 10 and Psalm 43. Let's get started. That night all the members of the community raised their voices. They wept out loud. The Israelites spoke against Moses and Aaron. The whole community said to them, "We wish we had died in Egypt or even in this desert. Why is the Lord bringing us to this land? We are going to be killed by swords. Our children will capture our wives. Our enemies will capture our wives and children. And wouldn't it be better for us to go back to Egypt?" They said to one another, "We should choose another leader. We should go back to Egypt." Then Moses and Aaron fell with their faces to the ground. They did it in front of the whole community of Israel. Gathered there. Joshua the son of Nun tore his clothes. So did Caleb the son of Jephunneh. Joshua and Caleb were two of the men who had checked out the land. They spoke to the whole community of Israel. They said, "We passed through the land and checked it out. It's very good. If the Lord is pleased with us, He'll lead us into that land. It's a land that has plenty of milk and honey. He'll give it to us. But don't refuse to obey Him, and don't be afraid of the people of the land. We will swallow them up. The Lord is with us, so nothing can save them. Don't be afraid of them." And all the people talked about killing Joshua and Caleb by throwing stones at them. Then the glory of the Lord appeared at the tent of meeting. All the Israelites saw it. The Lord said to Moses, "How long will these people not respect me? How long will they refuse to believe in me? They refuse even though I have done many signs among them. So I'll strike them down with a plague. I'll destroy them, but I'll make you into a greater and stronger nation than they are." Moses said to the Lord, "Then the Egyptians will hear about it. You used your power to bring these people out from among them, and the Egyptians will tell the people who live in Canaan about it. Lord, they've already heard a lot about you. They've heard that you are with these people. They've heard that you've been seen face to face. They've been told that your cloud stays over them. They've heard that you go in front of them in a pillar of cloud by day. They've been told that you go in front of them in a pillar of fire at night. Suppose you put all these people to death and leave none alive. Then the nations who have heard these things about you will talk. They'll say, 'The Lord promised to give these people to the land of Canaan, but He wasn't able to bring them into it, so He killed them in the desert. Now, Lord, show your strength.' You have said, 'I am the Lord. I am slow to get angry. I am full of love. I forgive those who sin. I forgive those who refuse to obey. I do not let guilty people go without punishing them. I cause the sins of the parents to affect their children, their grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Lord, your love is great, so forgive the sin of these people. Forgive them just as you've done from the time they left Egypt until now.' And the Lord replied, 'I forgive them, just as you asked. You can be sure that I live. You can be just as sure that my glory fills the whole earth. And here's what you can be just as sure of. Not one of these people will see the land I promised to give them. They have seen my glory. They have seen the signs I did in Egypt. And they have seen what I did in the desert. But they did not obey me. And they have tested me 10 times. So not even one of them will ever see the land I promised to give to their people longer. The person who has not respected me will never see it. My servant Caleb has a different spirit. He follows me with his whole heart. So I will bring him into the land he went to, and his children after him will receive land. The Amalekites and the Canaanites are living in the valleys. So turn back tomorrow. Start out toward the desert. Go along the way that leads to the Red Sea." The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "How long will this evil community speak against me? I have heard these Israelites talk about how unhappy they are. So tell them, here's what I am announcing. I am the Lord. You can be sure that I live. And here's what you can be just as sure of. I will do to you the very thing I heard you say. You will die in this desert. Every one of you 20 years old or more will die. Every one of you who is counted in the list of the people will die. Every one of you who has spoken out against me will be wiped out. I lifted up my hand and promised to make this land your home. But now not all of you will enter the land. Caleb the son of Jephunneh will enter it. So will Joshua the son of Nun. They are the only ones who will enter the land. You have said that your enemies would capture your children. But I will bring your children to enjoy the land you have turned your backs on. As for you, you will die in the desert. Your children will be shepherds here for 40 years. They will suffer because you were not faithful. They will suffer until the last of your bodies lie here in the desert. For 40 years you will suffer for your sin. That's 1 year each for each of the 40 days you checked out the land. You will know what it is like to have me against you. I, the Lord, have spoken. I will surely do these things to this entire evil community of Israel. They have joined together against me. They will meet their end in this desert. They will die here. So the Lord struck down the man Moses had sent to check out the land. They had returned and had spread a bad report about the land, and that had made the whole community speak out against Moses. Those men were to blame for spreading the bad report. So the Lord struck them down. They died of a plague. Only 2 of the men who went to check out the land remained alive. One of them was Joshua, the son of Nun. The other was Caleb, the son of Jephunneh. Moses reported to all the Israelites what the Lord had said, and they became very sad. Early the next morning, they set out for the highest point in the hill country. We have sinned, they said. Now we are ready to go up to the land the Lord promised to give us. But Moses said, why aren't you obeying the Lord's command? You won't succeed, so don't go up. So the Lord isn't with you. The Amalekites and the Canaanites will meet you in the field of battle. You have turned away from the Lord, so he won't be with you, and you'll be killed by swords. But they wouldn't listen. They still went up toward the highest point in the hill country. They went up even though Moses didn't move from the camp. They went even though the ark of the Lord's covenant didn't move from the camp. Then the Amalekites and the Canaanites who lived in that hill country came down. They attacked the Israelites. They won the battle over them. They chased the Israelites all the way to Hormah. Here's what the Lord said to Moses. Say to the Israelites, you are going to enter the land I am giving you as a home. When you do, you will present food offerings to the Lord to the Lord. The animals must come from a herd of flock. The smell of the offerings will please the Lord. They can be either burnt offerings or sacrifices. They can be either for special purposes or for feast offerings. Or they can be for offerings you choose to give. With each of the offerings, the person who brings it must present to the Lord a grain offering. It must be 8 cups of the finest flour. It must be mixed with a quart of olive oil. I should prepare a quart of wine as a drink offering. You must present it with each lamb that you bring for the burnt offering or the sacrifice. Prepare a grain offering to present along with the ram. The grain offering must be 16 cups of the finest flour. It must be mixed with 2.5 pints of olive oil. You must bring 2.5 pints of wine as a drink offering. Offer everything as a smell that pleases the Lord. Suppose you prepare young bull as a burnt offering or sacrifice. You prepare it to keep a special promise to the Lord. Or you prepare it to present as a friendship offering. Then bring a grain offering with the bull. The grain offering must be 24 cups of the finest flour. It must be mixed with 2 quarts of olive oil. Those who bring 2 quarts of wine as a drink offering. It will be a food offering. The smell will please the Lord. Each bull or ram must be prepared in the same way. Each lamb or young goat must also be prepared in that way. Do it for each animal. Do it for as many animals as you prepare. Everyone in Israel must do those things in that way. He must do them when he presents a food offering. The smell of offerings like that pleases the Lord. Everyone must always do what the Lord requires. It does not matter whether they are an outsider or anyone else living among you. They must do exactly as you do when they present a food offering. The smell of offerings like that pleases the Lord. The community must have the same rules for you and for any outsider living among you. This law will last for all time to come. In the sight of the law applies both to you and any outsider. The same laws and rules will apply to you and to any outsider living among you. The Lord said to Moses, speak to the Israelites, say to them, you are going to enter the land I am taking you to. You will eat its food. When you do, present part of it as an offering to the Lord. Present it as a loaf made from the first flour you grind. Present it as an offering from the threshing floor. You must present the offering to the Lord. You must present it from the first grain you grind. You must do it for all time to come. Suppose you as a community fail to keep any of the commands the Lord gave Moses, and suppose you do it without meaning to. That applies to any of the commands the Lord told Moses to give you, and they are in effect from the day the Lord gave them and for all time to come. Suppose the community sins without meaning to, and suppose they do not know they have sinned. Then the whole community must offer a young bull. They must sacrifice it for a burnt offering. Its smell will please the Lord. Along with it, they must offer its required grain offering and drink offering. They must also sacrifice a male goat for a sin offering. With it, the priest will pay for the sin of the whole community of Israel. And then they will be forgiven. They did not mean to commit that sin, and they have presented to the Lord a food offering for the wrong thing they did. They have brought a sin offering with it. The Lord will forgive the whole community of Israel and the outsiders living among them. All the people had a part in the sin, even though they did not mean to do it. But suppose just one person sins without meaning to. Then that person must bring a female goat for a sin offering. It must be a year old. With it, the priest will pay for the person's sin in front of the Lord. The priest will do it for the one who did wrong by sinning without meaning to. When the sin is paid for, that person will be forgiven. The same law applies to everyone who sins without meaning to. It does not matter whether they are an Israelite or an outsider. But suppose someone sins on purpose. It does not matter whether they are an Israelite or an outsider. They speak evil things against the Lord. They must be separated from the community of Israel. They have not respected what the Lord has said. They have broken the Lord's command. They must certainly be separated from the community. They are still guilty. The Israelites were in the desert. One Sabbath day, people saw a man gathering wood. They brought him to Moses and Aaron and the whole community. And they kept him under guard. It wasn't clear what should be done to him. Then the Lord said to Moses, "The man must die. The whole community must kill him by throwing stones at him. They must do it outside the camp." So the people took the man outside the camp. There they killed him by throwing stones at him. They did just as the Lord had commanded Moses. And the Lord said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, you must make tassels on the corners of your clothes. A blue cord must be on each tassel. You must do it 4 times to come. You will have the tassels to look at. They will remind you to obey all the Lord's commands. Then you will be faithful to him. You will not chase after what your own hearts and eyes wish for. You will remember to obey all my commands, and you will be set apart for your God. I am the Lord your God. I brought you out of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord your God." Korah was the son of Israel, the son of Kohath. Kohath was the son of Levi. Korah and certain men from the tribe of Reuben turned against Moses. The men from Reuben were Dathan, Abiram, and On. Dathan and Abiram were the sons of Eliab. On was the son of Peleth. All those men rose up against Moses, and 250 men of Israel joined them. All of them were known as leaders in the community. They had been appointed as members of the ruling body. They came as a group to oppose Moses and Aaron. They said to Moses and Aaron, "You have gone too far. The whole community is holy. Everyone in it is holy, and the Lord is with them. So why do you put yourselves above the Lord's people?" When Moses heard what they said, he fell with his face to the ground. Then he spoke to Korah and all his followers. And he said, "In the morning the Lord will show who belongs to him. To show he is holy, he will bring that person near him. He will bring the man he chooses near him. Korah, here's what you and your followers must do. Get some shallow cups for burning incense. Tomorrow put burning coals and incense in it. Offer it to the Lord. The man the Lord chooses will be the one who is holy. You Levites have gone too far." Moses also said to Korah, "Listen, you Levites. The God of Israel has separated you from the rest of the community of Israel. He has brought you near him to work at the Lord's holy tent. He has given you to the people so that you can serve them. Isn't all that enough for you? He has already brought you and all the other Levites near him. But now you want to be priests too. You and all your followers have joined together against the Lord. Why are you telling Aaron you aren't happy with him?" And then Moses sent for Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab. But they said, "We won't come. You've brought us out of a land that has plenty of milk and honey. You brought us here to kill us in the desert. Isn't that enough? Now do you also want to act as if you were ruling over us? Besides, you haven't brought us into a land that is that has plenty of milk and honey. You haven't given us fields and vineyards of our own. Do you want to treat these men like slaves? No, we won't come." Then Moses became very angry. He said to the Lord, "Don't accept their offering. I haven't even taken a donkey from them. In fact, I haven't done anything wrong to any of them." Moses said to Korah, "You and all your followers must stand in front of the Lord tomorrow. You must appear there along with Aaron. Each man must get his shallow cup. He must put incense in it. There will be a total of 250 incense cups. Each man must bring his cup to the Lord. You and Aaron must also bring your cups." So each of them got his cup, and then he put burning coals and incense in. All the men came with Moses and Aaron. They stood at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Korah gathered all his followers together at the entrance to the tent. They opposed Moses and Aaron. Then the glory of the Lord appeared to the whole community. And the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Separate yourselves from all these people, and I can put an end to them, and to all of them at once." But Moses and Aaron fell with their faces to the Lord. They cried out, "God, you are the God who gives life and breath to all these things. Will you be angry with the whole community when only one man sins?" Then the Lord spoke to Moses. He said, "Tell the community, move away from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram." Moses got up. He went to Dathan and Abiram. The elders of Israel followed him. Moses warned the community. He said, "Move away from the tents of these evil men. Don't touch anything that belongs to them. If you do, the Lord will sweep you away because of all their sins." So they moved away from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. Dathan and Abiram had already come out. They were staring at the entrances to their tents. Their wives, children, and little ones were staying there with them. And Moses said, "What is about to happen was my idea. The Lord has sent me to do everything I'm doing. Here's how you will know I'm telling you the truth. These men won't die a natural death. Something will happen to them that doesn't usually happen to people. If what I'm telling you doesn't happen, then you will know that the Lord hasn't sent me. But the Lord will make something totally new happen. The ground will open its mouth and swallow them up. It will swallow up everything that belongs to them. They'll be buried alive. When that happens, you will know that these men have disrespected the Lord." As soon as Moses finished saying all these words, what he had said came true. The ground under them broke open. It opened its mouth. It swallowed up those men. In fact, it swallowed up everyone who lived in their houses. It swallowed all Korah's men, and it swallowed up everything they owned. They went down into the grave alive. Everything they owned went down with them. The ground closed over them, and they died. So they disappeared from the community. All the Israelites around them heard their cries. They ran away from them. They shouted, "The ground is going to swallow us up too." Then the Lord sent down fire. It burned up the 250 men offering the incense. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to Eleazar the priest. He is the son of Aaron. Remind him that the shower cups are holy. He must take them out of the ashes. He must scatter the burning coals away from them. The men who sinned used those cups, and it cost them their lives. Hammer the cups into bronze sheets that will cover the altar. The cups were offered to the Lord. They will have become holy. Let them serve as a warning to the Israelites." So the priest Eleazar collected the bronze incense cups. They had been brought by the men who had been burned to death. He had them hammered out to cover the altar. He did just as the Lord had directed Moses to tell him to. The covering would be a reminder to the Israelites. He would remind them that no one except a son of Aaron should come and burn incense to the Lord. If people other than priests did that, they would become like Korah and his followers. The next day, the whole community of Israel told Moses and Aaron they weren't happy with him. "You've killed the Lord's people," they said. The community gathered together to oppose Moses and Aaron. The people walked toward the tent of meeting. Suddenly the cloud covered it. The glory of the Lord appeared. Then Moses and Aaron went in to the front of the tent of meeting. The Lord said to Moses, "Get away from these people. Then I can put an end to all of them at once." And Moses and Aaron fell with their faces to the ground. Moses and Aaron said to Aaron, "Take your incense cup, put incense in it, and put burning coals on it from the altar in it. Then hurry to the people and pay for their sin. The Lord has begun to show his anger. The plague has started." So Aaron did as Moses said. He ran in among the people. The plague had already started among them. When Aaron offered the incense and paid for their sin, he stood between those alive and those dead. Then the plague stopped. But 14,700 people died from the plague. That plague doesn't include those who had died because of what Korah did. Then Aaron returned to Moses at the entrance to the tent of meeting. The plague had stopped. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites. Get 12 walking sticks from them. Get one from the leader of Israel's tribes, of each of Israel's tribes. Write the name of each man on his walking stick. Write Aaron's name on Levi's walking stick. There must be one stick for the head of each of Israel's tribes. Put the walking sticks in the tent of meeting. Place them in front of the ark where the tablets of the covenant law are kept. That is where I'll meet with you. The walking stick that belongs to the man I choose will begin to grow new shoots. The Israelites are never happy with what you do. I'll put an end to what they are saying." So Moses spoke to the Israelites. The leaders gave them 12 walking sticks. They gave one for the leader of each of Israel's tribes. Aaron's walking stick was among them. Moses put the sticks in front of the Lord and the tent with the tablets of the covenant law were kept. The next day, Moses entered the tent. He looked at Aaron's walking stick. It stood for the tribe of Levi. Moses saw that it had begun to grow new shoots. It had also produced buds and flowers and almonds. Then Moses brought out the walking sticks from in front of the Lord. He brought them to all the Israelites. They looked at them, and each man took his own walking stick. The Lord said to Moses, "Put Aaron's walking stick back in front of the ark where the tablets of the covenant law are kept. The stick will be kept there as a warning to those who refuse to obey. They are never happy with what I do." Aaron's walking stick will put an end to what they say. Then they will not die. Moses did just as the Lord had commanded him. The Israelites said to Moses, "We will die. We are lost. All of us are lost. Anyone who even comes near the Lord's holy tent will die. Are all of us going to die?" The Lord spoke to Aaron. He said, "You, your sons, and your family are in charge of the sacred tent. You will be responsible for sins connected with the tent, and you and your sons alone will be responsible for sins connected with the office of priest. Bring the Levites from your tribe to join you. They'll help you when you and your sons serve at the tent of meeting. That is where the tablets of the covenant law are kept. The Levites will work for you. They must do everything that needs to be done at the tent. And they must not go near anything that belongs to the sacred tent, and they must not go near the altar. If they do, they and you will die. They'll help you take care of the tent of meeting. They'll join you in all the work at the tent. No one else can come near you there. You will be responsible for taking care of the sacred tent and the altar. Then I will not be angry with the Israelites again. I myself have chosen the Levites. I have chosen them from among the Israelites. They are a gift to you. I have set them apart to do the work at the tent of meeting. But only you and your sons can serve as priests. Only you and your sons can work with everything at the altar and behind the curtain. I am letting you serve as priests. It is a gift from me. Anyone else who comes near the sacred tent must be put to death." Then the Lord spoke to Aaron. He said, "I have put you in charge of the offerings brought to me. The Israelites will give me holy offerings. Then I will give all their offerings to you and your sons. They are the part that belongs to you. They are your share for all time to come. You will have a part of the very holy offerings. It is a part not burned in the fire. That part belongs to you and all your sons. You will have a part of all the gifts the people bring me as a very holy offering. As very holy offerings. It does not matter whether they are grain offerings or sin offerings or guilt offerings. Eat your part as something that is very holy. Every male will eat it. You must consider it as holy. Part of the gifts the Israelites bring as wave offerings will be set aside. That part will also belong to you. I will give it to you and your sons and daughters. It is your share for all time to come. Everyone in your home who is clean can eat. I will give you all the finest olive oil and grain the people give me, and I will give you all the finest fresh wine they give me. They give all those things as the first share of their harvest. All the first shares of the harvest they bring me will belong to you. Everyone in your home who is clean can eat it. Everything in Israel that is set apart to me belongs to you. Offer to me every male born first to its mother. It belongs to you. That includes humans and animals alike. But you must buy back every older son. Suppose certain animals are unclean. Then you must buy back every male born first to its mother. When they are a month old, you must buy them back. The price is set at 2 ounces of silver. It must be weighed out according to the standard weight used in the sacred. But you must not buy back any male calf, sheep, or goat born first. They are holy. Splash their blood against the altar and burn their fat as a food offering. Its smell pleases me. The meat will belong to you. It is just like the breast and the right thigh of the wave offering. Those parts belong to you. Part of the holy offerings the Israelites bring to me will be set aside. No matter what it is, I will give it to you and your sons and daughters. It is your share for all time to come. It is a covenant of salt for me. The salt means that the covenant will last for all time to come for you and your children. The Lord spoke to Aaron. He said, "You will not receive any part of the land I am giving to Israel. You will not have any share among them. I am your share. For I am what you will receive among the Israelites. The Israelites will give me a tenth of everything they produce, and I will give it to the Levites. They serve at the tent of meeting. I'll give them the tenth for the work they do there. From now on, the Israelites must not go near the tent of meeting. If they do, they will be punished for their sin. They will die. The Levites will do the work at the tent of meeting. They will be responsible for any sins connected with the tent. This is a law that will last for all time to come. The Levites will not receive any share among the Israelites. Instead, I will give the Levites the tenth as their share. Use the tenth that the Israelites bring me as an offering. That is why I said the Levites would not have any share of land among the Israelites. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Levites. Say to them, you will receive the tenth from the Israelites. I will give it to you as your share. When I do, you must give a tenth of that tenth as an offering to the Lord. Your offering will be considered as if you gave grain from a threshing floor. It will be considered as juice from a winepress. In that way, you will also bring an offering to the Lord. You will bring it from the tenth you receive from the Israelites. You must give the Lord's part to the priest Aaron. You must bring it to the tenth from the tenth you receive. You must bring to the Lord a part of everything given to you. It must be the best and holiest part. Say to the Levites, you must bring the best part. Then it will be considered as if you gave grain from the threshing floor. It will be considered as juice from a winepress. You and your families can eat the rest of it anyway. Here's your pay for your work at the tent of meeting. Bring the best part of what you receive. And you will not be guilty of holding anything back. You will not make the holy offerings of the Israelites unclean. You will not die. Proverbs 10. These are the Proverbs of Solomon. A wise son makes his father glad, but a foolish one brings sorrow to his mother. Riches that are gained by sitting aren't worth anything, but doing what is right saves you from death. And the Lord gives those who do right the food they need, but he lets those who do wrong go hungry. Hands that don't want to work make you poor, but hands that work hard bring wealth to you. A child who gathers crops in summer is wise, but a child who sleeps at harvest time brings shame. Blessings are like crowns on the heads of those who do right, but trouble caused by what's in the say destroys them. The names of those who do right are used in blessings, but the names of those who do wrong will rot. A wise heart steps commits. The foolish shadow destroys. Anyone who lives without blame walks safely. But anyone who takes a crooked path will get caught. An evil wind gets you into trouble, and foolish shadow destroys. The master of those who do right will run life like a fan, but the master of sinners hide their evil plans. Hate stirs up fights. The lover raises all sins by forgiving them. Wisdom is found on the lips of those who understand what is right, but those who have no sense are punished. Most people store up knowledge, but the master of foolish people destroys. The wealth of rich people is like a city that makes them feel safe. Having nothing destroys those who are poor. People who do what's right in life, but sinners earn sin and death. Anyone who pays attention to correction shows the path to life, but anyone who refuses to be corrected leads others down the wrong path. Anyone who hides hatred with lying lips and spreads lies is foolish. Sin is not ended by using many words, but those who are wise control their tongues. The tongues of those who do right are like fine silver, but the hearts of those who do wrong are worth very much. The words of those who do right benefit many people, but those who are foolish die because they have no sin. The blessing of the Lord brings wealth, and it comes without painful work. A foolish person finds pleasure in evil plans, but a person who is understanding takes delight in wisdom. What sinners are afraid of will catch up with them, but those who do right will get what they want. When the storm is over, sins are gone, but those who do right stand firm forever. Those who don't want to work are those who sin. They are like vinegar on the teeth or smoke in the eyes. Having respect for the Lord leads to a longer life, but the years of evil people are cut short. Those who do right can expect joy, but those who sins are bound to fail. But the way of the Lord is a safe place for those without way, but that way destroys those who do evil. Those who do right will never be removed from the land, but those who do wrong will not remain there. The mouth of those who do right produce wisdom. The tongue they speak twisted words will be made sad. Those who do right know the proper thing to say, but those who do wrong speak only twisted words. Psalm 43. My God, when you hand down your decision, let it be in my favor. Stand up for me against an unfaithful nation. Save me from those lying and simple people. My God, you are my place. My God, my place of safety. Why have you turned your back on me? Why must I go around in sorrow? Why am I beaten down by my enemies? Send me your light and your faithful care. Let them lead me. Let them bring me back to your holy mountain, to the place where you live. Then I will go to the altar of God. I will go to God. He is my joy and my delight. God, you are my God. I'll praise you by playing the lyre. My spirit, why are you so sad? Why are you so upset deep down inside me? Could you hope in God? Once again, I'll have reason to praise him. He's my Saviour, my God. Now that's done, I shall now do the Lord's Prayer. Please bow your head. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as you also forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.